can see this man's work on Netflix right now in the brilliantly funny Wet Hot American Summer, first day of camp, and then on Showtime, Sundays at 10 on the newest season of Masters of Sex. He will also be in the upcoming features I Smile Back and Freeheld. He is Josh Charles here on the program. Good to see you, man.
Always, my man.
We go way back, sir. We first met in Radio City Music Hall in the balcony.
That's right.
When you and Peter Krause were doing Sports Night, and Stuart Scott and I were doing the pre-ESPY show.
That's right.
And we're doing our thing, and the bit was you tapped us on our shoulders and kicked us out.
That's right, yeah.
And threw the break.
I do, I remember that. It was
From
fun.
back in the day.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember how long ago
My
that
first
was.
ESPYs, I think that was where, at the hotel, David, what's his name, the amazing baseball player that I know used to play for the Orioles and threw a no-hitter for the Yankees.
Cone.
No.
David Cone?
No.
Wells.
Wells.
Oh, God. Boomer.
Headbutted me.
Now that is bucket list stuff.
Yeah, Boomer, God bless him, headbutted me. Didn't mean to do it aggressively, but, you know, let's just say we had a few in us.
I was about to say, how deep into the evening might this have been?
You know, we were deep into the evening. I would say we were in the very deep part of the evening.
Right.
And it was for him, it was probably a very, like, friendly love tap headbutt. It knocked me down. It took me right to my knees.
But you, as deep as a sports fan, I possibly know, you respect that sort of stuff.
Absolutely.
You do not sit there and go.
Boomer. Love him. I'm embarrassed I couldn't remember his name.
No.
I'm just so
Listen,
tired and sleep deprived.
But he's Boomer Wells, and he does that sort of thing.
He's what I think of when I just think of an old school.
Who was your
baseball player.
Oriole growing up? Who was your Oriole? Who was your guy?
Growing up?
Was it Brooks? Was it Frank?
I was a little. I mean, Brooks is my guy just because Brooks is Brooks.
He's the man.
They
right.
don't make them any better than him.
But
He's
when you were a little
quality
kid,
human being, I would say growing up, Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken, certainly loved Rick Dempsey.
Rick Dempsey.
Loved the way
the Rain
Rick,
Delay Theater with Rick Dempsey,
like,
right?
For a kid, it was he brought all the fun to baseball. He was first of all, people forget he was the MVP of the '83 World Series. And I also love Terry Crowley because I went to his baseball camp. And
he's a Staten Islander, Terry Crowley.
He's one of the nicest guys ever. Loved him. But I would say, you know, Cal and Eddie Murray, definitely. I mean, you know, just his stance. He used to play, you know, just. You know, and I mean, I throw left but bat right, but I would always like imitate him both left and right, and his little swagger and the plate. And we played sock ball. I loved it.
Right. So you are bat left, throw right. Is that what you said, or you're
the opposite?
Bat right, throw left.
Like Ricky Henderson. It's rare. I throw left and bat right.
Interesting.
Not many people do that. A lot of people do it the other way.
Yeah,
the only one I can think of is Ricky Henderson. Can you guys think of anybody else that does it?
I don't know. What's your speed? Do you have the similar base paths type acumen?
I'm not sure what that means.
No, listen, wait a minute. I have also.
Do you mean, am I as fast as Ricky Henderson?
Yes.
I mean, the fact that you'd even ask me that, of course I'm as fast as Ricky Henderson.
I've seen it.
Dude, I'll steal right now. I'll slide right into that couch.
Josh Charles, I have seen it on a football field.
That's right,
I've seen it on a football field on two different coasts. I've seen it on a football field.
You saw me pull my hamstring the second time. That was embarrassing.
Now, you played in that flag football EA Sports extravaganza, right?
And they didn't pick me the first time, remember? And then I came in and almost got MVP.
You were almost MVP. Was that the one in Bryant Park?
Had the interception, intercepted Kurt Warner in front of Herschel Walker. The funniest thing is me with the interception thinking that I was actually going to score.
Outrun Herschel.
And Herschel Walker's just like, kind of like Chris Maloney in Wet Hot, just jog, you know, when he's just skipping, chasing Ken Marino. And he just sort of like grabs my flag and I'm running.
I'll take that right now.
That was pretty great.
Yeah.
That was a dream, though, man. Doing that, playing with I have that on my DVR, and I show people when they come over because they don't believe. I was like, I caught a touchdown pass from Dan Marino. And they're like, and I intercepted, you know,
Kurt Warner on the same day.
In a freaking game that both Tony Dungy and what's his name, Rodney Harrison, both dissed me and didn't even pick me.
Now,
that was embarrassing.
I was sensing there was some tension between you and Rodney Harrison.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
I was sensing
No,
that
I'm not a fan.
You didn't appreciate his coaching style?
He was yelling at me left and right, telling me, I'm an actor. He's telling me, I told you to go left, right. And Dion was, you know, I'm playing next to Dion and Ronnie Lott, you know, in a flag football game in Bryant Park. Like, I'm shaking. And Dion's just, man, don't listen to him. Just stay right next to me and you'll be fine. And I was like, Prime, that's my man. He's like, what did he say, Dion? Don't worry about it, man. Just stay next to me, and you just stay in the middle. And me and Ronnie got the edges. You're fine.
Prime, who came out of retirement to put on the Baltimore purple for a couple of years.
Yes, he did. I was hoping.
Right next to Ed Reed. And,
that's true.
You know,
It was nice.
Think about that. There's Dion, there's Ed Reed, there's Ray Lewis in the same defense.
That's a pretty impressive.
And Rod
defense.
Woodson was there just before Dion came on board.
Another
too.
one of the best.
So I got
Mr.
Josh
Woodson.
Charles here on the Rich Eisen show. I don't know which one to go first. All right, let's go Orioles first.
Okay.
What do you think right now? You're 6.5 behind my Yanks. You've got a great manager. You've got him working.
My favorite manager of
Buck?
maybe ever.
Really?
Even before he was with the Orioles, that's one of the best guys ever.
He is
funny, so smart, so knowledgeable, knows how to lead people. I'm going Fassel here all in. Orioles making the playoffs.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, whether it's a wild card, I don't know if we're going to catch your Yankees.
I don't think you're going to catch the Yanks.
Well, calm down a little bit.
No, wait
now.
a minute. I don't need to pump the brakes
guys,
just
it's
yet
not.
here.
I mean, let's,
Hold on a minute.
there's a lot of baseball left. But I think, what are we, 6 games out now? Toronto's 5 games out?
You are 6.5 out. 7 in the loss, if you really want to nitpick.
Okay.
But, you know,
I think that we play you, though, a couple times coming up, don't we?
I have your schedule right here, but keep
But
going on.
either way, I'll say, we're a game out of the wild card. And I think I like our shot.
Okay.
Coming down the stretch here because of Buck and because of our experience. I mean, I think like any team, we got some question marks, but
right.
I believe we'll do it.
Yeah, you are 1 out in the wild card.
Yeah.
Just 1 out. Actually, you're tied in the loss column with the Blue Jays and the Twins and yourself for just 1 out in the wild card. So you're in good shape.
Yeah.
You like it, right?
Yeah.
So back in the day when you were growing up.
Yeah.
And now that you're a guy who's going to go to the Orioles game, the Orioles Angels game this weekend. Do you go ahead and you get tickets through the O's, through the A's?
I actually did. I emailed them just to ask because I couldn't go. I would have gone to every game if I could. But it's my we're having my wife's birthday is this weekend. We're doing some fun stuff for her. But Sunday I thought would be a fun day to go. And I haven't been to an Orioles game this year because I've been out in L.A. working on Masters of Sex all summer.
Sure.
So it's unlike me to not have gone to a game yet. And I can't go a summer without going to a game.
Now, so is your wife on board with the Orioles here?
She supports
She's
the
on
Orioles.
board with the Orioles.
Well, I mean, she grew up in Boston.
Ooh.
But
So where does this stand right now?
Just shoot me a look.
I kind of did.
Did that just happen?
He just shot you a look.
No, she grew up in Boston, but she likes the Orioles. She likes going to the games.
Okay, so we're fine there.
Yeah.
The Orioles Red Sox thing.
The
There's
Orioles
no
Red Sox.
issue.
She's not a huge sports fan, so she's okay with.
Okay.
As long as I'm just not annoying her. I think she's happy.
That's
with
good.
I'm doing.
Because you got a little Bambino now.
I know it. That's my question for you. Is like what you have these incredible kids.
Thank you.
You grew up. You're a Yankee and as a Jets fan.
Yes.
But now you're raising these kids in California. I'm assuming they may or may not, all of them, like the Jets or the Yankees. How do you handle that, and what advice can you give me as a new parent? Because I'm going to have a hard time with that if my little guy wants to root for the Yankees. Like I wouldn't care about the Jets, honestly, or I could deal with that, or I could deal with even the Giants. The Yankees would be tough.
If your son living
or Steelers.
Okay.
Yankees or Steelers, I'm going to have a problem.
That would be an issue with
Yeah.
Well, right now, as you know, I mean, I'm married to a New Englander as well.
No, I didn't know
and
that.
she does have more of a stance than your wife on the Boston teams.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Just a bit.
Just a wee bit
So
of
you know what? That's a really good point. I didn't think about that. She has a strong opinion about this as well.
Very
of course.
strident. She also shares a birthday with Tom Brady. So there's no cracking there's no New York, New England situation in the house.
You're just letting them.
Football world. But the Red Sox were a line in the sand that could not be crossed.
Wait, what do you mean?
I just when my son, actually oldest son, born 7 years ago today.
Oh wow! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday to the X-Man. We got so many gifts from Massachusetts, Boston Red Sox this, Red Sox that, Red Sox books, Red Sox monster dolls, and I just said this has to stop.
Gotcha.
We cannot.
So you drew the line in the sand.
I had to draw the Red Sox
completely understand
line in
that.
the sand.
Absolutely.
But when he's watching the games and he wants to maybe root for the Red Sox, what do I say? You can't do that.
So who are their
free
teams?
will.
Who are their teams?
Baseball, they're sort of up in the air a little bit right now, but they love the Patriots. They love the Patriots, Wow. And so when my oldest son, comes to me and he says, "Dad, I was in school today, and somebody told me Tom Brady is a cheater. Is that true?" You know what I say?
That's me.
Is that you?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that's a $20 fine.
What is going on?
That's a $20 fine.
Hold on.
I'm in the middle of a story. I'm about to
by the way,
get the punchline.
opportune time for it to come up
Studio,
too.
that's a $10.
I don't know what
That's an
happened.
opportune time for it to come up
and he
too.
says if Tom Brady's a cheater, what he goes, is he right? And I say to go ask your mother. Which would have been a much funnier line if, sir.
I found it
you didn't
hilarious,
blow
but
it.
that's
It's
a $10
timing. It's
fine.
all about timing. We know this. It's all about timing.
It's a $5 fine to have anything go off during the show.
I was just sick of hearing about the Yankees.
It is
that's all.
also now a new rule that if it goes off during the show and it goes off just as I'm finishing up a story before throwing the break and it's the punchline of the story, is that treble the damages? Quadruple
Triple.
the damages?
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second.
Treble? Tom
I gotta get
Treblehorn?
Jeffrey Kessler on the phone because there's no precedent for this type of punishment.
Oh, gosh, listen to
and
this guy.
so
Listen to this
you're gonna
big
hear
kid
from
fella
my
over there.
attorney, and this is gonna be.
But wait,
stayed
but
for
what
a while.
about what's you do know about vibrate, right? And silent.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
I mean, that's the thing. Acting whenever
After-
you're doing
after
a
the-
play,
after the break.
people's phones who go off when you're doing a play,
Mm-hmm.
it's never a vibrating or a silent phone. It's always like salsa music. Or whatever the hell that was, like paging 911. I mean, it's like what kind of ring is that, man?
That's its ringtone for when William Shatner calls.
right.
Let's take a break. We're back in a minute's time here with Josh Charles here on The Rich Eisen Show. We'll talk about Wet Hot American Summer on Netflix, Masters of Sex, and so much more when we return. We'll talk some Ravens football also.
Swing it and drive! Get the
Going yard.
swing, and this is blasted and make it 5 in a row. How far is this going? It's out to left center field. Nelson Cruz, 5 consecutive games with a home run. He does it for the second time this year.
Going yard.
Nelson Cruz's home run leaves him just one behind or two behind Trout.
Yeah, he's one behind Trout, one ahead of Pujols for second.
In
this
the
year.
in the Major League Baseball home run race as Nelson Cruz, former Oriole, going yard.
Yeah, thanks for
Well, you-
reminding me.
Josh
I have to say,
Charles.
it's funny seeing that. I once hit 5 home runs in a row, in 5 games in a row in a wiffle ball.
Did
Yeah,
you now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Twice in the season, actually. I mean, I'm not trying to one up him, but
So you're
I know what he's going through right now, and I know the
If you're
pressure.
a one-upper, you'd have said 6. You just stopped
Yeah,
at
that's
5.
true.
Exactly. I was just saying, I tied him.
So your wiffle ball game is like Nelson Cruz, and your running game and batting and throwing game is like Ricky Henderson.
I run a game. I do.
like it.
One year, I've always wanted to go to the combine, and I've just always wanted to do that because I want to hang out with the coaches,
Anytime.
and I want to run with you one time. I want to see how I would match up to Rich Eisen.
Come
Like,
on back. Come on
Huh?
out. 2016. I'll get you
Just a
there.
But what do you
Great
think,
idea.
off the top of your head? Do you think I could? I mean, would I be close to you, or could I beat you,
Yes.
or no?
Yeah, because I don't train for it.
You don't train for
No,
it?
no, I'm training for it.
That's surprising.
Do you see what I do every day? Is I sit in this chair for 3 hours a day.
Tell you what you do.
That's what I do.
I'm gonna tell you what you do.
What do I do, Josh?
You grill very well. You're a professional griller.
I'm a professional
Man,
griller.
is a serious
100%.
host and a griller, and you are a
100%.
true gentleman.
Back in that play, are you not?
100% back in that play.
That's right.
That's right.
Chicken, the corn,
The
burgers.
corn is.
It's good stuff.
All good, man.
Come on back, Josh.
Yeah.
Not just the show, but for the grilling in the backyard.
Absolutely.
Football Life. You're the voice of that on NFL Network too.
Yeah, I think we're about to do our 4th season.
Is that amazing?
I think it is, yeah.
Do you enjoy doing it? You like doing it?
Love it. I love doing it. Love the guys from NFL Films. I love that they're just so good at what they do.
Yeah.
The stories they pick, and it's fun for me. I do the narrations in New York, near where I live,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm such a football fan, I enjoy doing all of them, and I love working with them. And I think we do a really good show.
Oh, it's
and
great,
I think,
Josh.
it's something I'm really proud to be a part of.
It's great. You're great at it.
Thanks,
Do
bud.
you have a favorite? The one that you want? One of them?
You
that
know what? There's a lot. I have so many favorites, but I will say that the Sobel ones, you
Yeah.
know, both Ed and Steve,
Well-
both were very, I mean, for obvious reasons, just very, very moving and touching, and
Well,
I like
the
doing them.
Reggie White one with
Reggie White one was great.
It was Reggie White
And,
Jerome Brown.
Yes,
that was great.
that was a great one.
You know, obviously that was really.
I
good
thought
stuff.
Cleveland '95 was a really good one too. Talking about that point of time, I thought Houston, what was the year? Oh God, I'm gonna forget it, but that was a good one too.
But the Cleveland '95 one, because it does play into the fact, you know, Modell taking the team to the Ravens, which
It
is
does.
near and dear to your heart. And I know you remember the Mayflower trucks coming to take your Colts away.
I mean,
I mean,
even just saying it right now. I
No
gotta,
kidding.
like, just, yeah, I have a visceral reaction to just Mayflower. If I ever see somebody moving a Mayflower van, like I want to spit on it.
even just the Pilgrims, even just talking about the
I
Pilgrims
wouldn't-
arriving on it.
I'd rather I don't know. I don't know what I'd rather do. Who I'd rather give my furniture to than Mayflower, but they will never touch.
They will
a piece
never
of my-
move you.
Not anywhere. They wouldn't move anything. I wouldn't let them if my life depended on it.
You think maybe the
I hope they're not a sponsor.
no, they're not. Don't worry. I would have stopped you much sooner if they were.
Throw a Plymouth Rock at the truck.
Get off Mayflower.
I'm a big fan of
Get
Mayflower. They're great.
So what do you think of your Ravens' chances this year? What do you like going into the season this year?
I feel
Josh?
good about them. I do. I think I'm excited to see how some of the draft picks play out. I think defense is going to be good. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with Trestman, just coming in and how, because we made such great progress offensively with Kubiak last year, and I just think the system, watching it, was so great. It was sad to see some guys go, like Haloti and Torrey Smith. They were two of my favorite, not just players, but guys, really good guys. And that's part of football, so I wish them well, but I think the Ravens they do well. Just kind of keep grinding it out and finding in the new pieces. It'll be interesting to see what Ozzie sort of grabs here as the summer rolls along. He always seems to get those few diamonds in the rough. But I'm excited to see some of, Perryman. I'm excited to see just what Trestman does with Joe. And hopefully Joe could just continue where he left off. And Steve Smith, my man.
He is the, if I made up a list of guys that can quote unquote play for me,
Yeah.
he's on that list.
But
so is Hines Ward of your hated Steelers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can tip the cap.
I can tip the cap somewhat, but I would say, Steve Smith's definitely up there. And he, again, a huge fan well before he ever played for the Ravens. So
Right.
I love that guy. He is all ball all the time. Just team, incredible personality too, and so funny. It just makes me laugh. But really, just what a player, And it says a lot that I think he is going to be the #1 receiver this year on the team.
So what is the team that concerns you most in the AFC?
In the AFC North or the AFC?
Just in general, to prevent you from getting to Santa Clara and playing for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
this
think
year.
you always got to. Obviously, the Patriots you always got to respect. I think this, I think the Colts.
The Colts are. I think in my mind, the Colts are the favorites to win this conference. I believe that.
Could be. I mean, luck is the real deal, and they certainly made a lot of progress last year up until the playoffs. But yeah, I think what Chuck's doing over there is great. I mean, that's a great team, and Luck is just he's the throwback. He's the real deal. So yeah, I would say I would give them, but I think the Ravens will be in the mix definitely.
Before I let you go, let's talk Wet Hot American Summer a little bit. First day of camp on Netflix. This is a cult hit from 2001, and they decide let's get everybody back, as many people we can get back to play the same characters, but at the beginning of camp, not the end of camp like the movie was. And let's add some new characters, and they call you up to say,
well, these are my
here.
pals, Mike Showalter and David Wayne, who wrote the movie, and David directed it, and then they were both, executive producing the show, and they're old friends. And Mike called me up and said, "Hey, we've got this part that we want you to play." And he didn't even finish the sentence. I was like, "I'm in." I mean,
Done.
So many of the people in the movie are my friends, and I was a big fan of the movie, and they knew that. And so I jumped at the chance and just come out here and be silly and laugh with my friends for a few weeks. It was a great time, and the response to it has been really fun.
And now the inspiration for your character as you're playing him with the triple popped collar.
He's the sort of villainous character in the piece, and the rival to Paul Rudd's character Andy, who's sort of the anti-hero of the film and the show. And so it was the idea of every James Spader role in those string of movies in the '80s mixed with the guy who from Karate Kid,
Karate Kid, that Log was calling out before.
Yeah, exactly. Those two mixed together, we were just trying to add. That was sort of my foundation.
Right. And some of the funniest stuff that I've seen you in recent months, years, is the stuff you're doing with Amy Schumer for her show.
Yeah.
What's your relation? She just calls you up and says, "Hey, I've got a good idea. Come on and let's shoot this thing."
Well, that's what happened.
Because you're popping up like every few weeks on some of the funnier things that she's putting on her show.
I'm really happy to get to work with her, because the first one came up because I know her head writer, and they called me to do the food room, the takeoff of the newsroom. And I was a huge fan of the first season of her show. Like, genuinely, my wife and I would just watch it and freak out. And I was like, she's genius. And so once we worked together, we really just hit it off and had a great rapport, and I think a great chemistry together. And then I did one more that season, and then they asked me this last year to do the football town night ones. And it's just, I love working with her. I'm so such a fan, and I think she's really
She's on fire.
she's
right
on
now.
fire. She's brilliant, and deserved. So I'm really happy to get to work with her anytime.
Yeah,
Feel lucky.
Look, man, you are welcome here anytime.
This is great to be here. I'm sorry it took so long, but
no,
this is a blast.
it's all good. But
a blast.
just trying to fit into your schedule. I mean, you're shooting all this stuff with Masters of Sex too. And,
yes,
and
all summer been here.
That's great.
It's been great. I'm having a really good time on
Before I
that.
let you go, do you back my boy Chris Brockman's play on that Jeter was weak in announcing before his last season?
I mean,
that
just
he's
put
having,
words in my mouth.
That you didn't. Okay, sorry. You go ahead and
let me
give
hear
the
it.
theory. Go ahead and give the
Let's hear
theory.
it.
I
Do
won't-
you think farewell tours are baloney?
that for players, farewell tours are
Well,
below.
I mean, I think it's how it's handled. I mean, necessarily like saying, is your issue that a player shouldn't even announce that this is going to be his last year?
We got into this yesterday because Jeter announced that it was going to be his last season, which set up this farewell tour. Your point is that Jeter is so much bigger and greater than the game, et cetera, et
Oh,
cetera.
Joe, now who's
And
putting
I
words in
said-
whose mouth?
And I said, come on, there's months of tape on that. And so I said, look, if Jeter was so big and he didn't want a farewell tour, he easily could have squashed all of these teams making it a big deal in every single park that he went to.
That's true. He could have, but he chose not to. And
Right.
I don't.
And that says to who he is.
Well, I don't know though, because I think it's a good question. I mean, with Jeter, I guess I didn't find it that offensive because I love Derek Jeter.
Yes,
So
who doesn't?
I mean,
who doesn't?
And
Only-
I hate the Yankees, but I love Derek Jeter and I always have.
But our
He's-
point on Twitter yesterday was that Barry Sanders, there was no announcement of a farewell tour,
And
all of a sudden he was gone, and you never heard from him
And I
again.
like that. And that's, given the choice, if I was an athlete and that was how I was going out, I'd go out the Sanders route. But with that said,
Really?
that
'Cause-
Gatorade commercial was pretty damn cool, or
But-
whatever it was.
And by the way you went out on the Good Wife backs your statement on
Yeah,
that. You went
I-
out the Sanders way on the Good Wife. in a
Sanders,
way.
that's my style. You
Yes,
just
you did.
get the F out and just roll out. And
See
say,
ya, and I'll deal with it.
But I mean, Jeter.
People saying, why did you do that?
alert.
It's the same exact
years ago.
thing. But my point, okay, Josh,
Yeah.
is that hating on Jeter is the only people who do that, as you say, who hates Jeter? Broken shells of men. Like that guy. A broken
I mean, oh, captain, my
shell
captain. Like, come
of
on.
a man
Just.
over there.
Who's $20 later?
Yeah, buddy.
Why,
Yeah.
but wait, why is this coming up now?
Because
Kobe Bryant says he may or
Oh,
may not.
right,
That's
exactly.
what it
I
is.
did see
Right,
that.
and
right.
so Law just like shoehorned that into me bashing on
I
Derek
got you.
Jeter.
And then it's just steamrolled
Well,
into
I
us
can
again.
tell you this: if Kobe does that, I would hate it.
Okay, what's the
Kobe's
difference?
not doing it. Kobe's
What's the
not.
I'm not saying that it makes sense what I'm saying, but I'm
Okay.
telling you that I would hate
He's
it.
a fan. You can't
'cause I don't
spell
like
fanatic
Kobe
with-
as much as I like Derek Jeter.
I love it. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Always.
Please.
All right.
It's Josh Charles.
Bye, guys.
Check out Masters of Sex, Showtime, Sundays at 10. Before you do that, go check out Wet Hot American Summer, first day of camp. 8 hilarious episodes sitting on good Netflix for you to binge on.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.